Music, it plays a crucial role in games, yet it often flies under the radar. The right tune can immerse you in the moment, bring tears to your eyes, or even get your head banging. Indie games are packed with incredible musical compositions, and today on the channel, we'll be exploring 10 amazing indie game soundtracks. So get ready for some auditory delights and prepare to add these games, their soundtracks, or both, to your ever-growing backlogs. And hey, at least you can enjoy the music while you work, right? Just a heads up, I'll be exploring some deeper cuts on this list, so if you're looking for the typical Undertale, Super Meat Boy shoutouts, this probably won't be the list for you. You know what would be perfect for you though? Joining our Patreon community. Head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames and unlock exclusive benefits such as Discord access, early ad-free shows, shoutouts at the end of every video we produce, a brand new podcast 3 days early, and much more. Your new indie gaming community is waiting for you. At number 10 on our list is Phoenotopia Awakening, a wonderful indie release from 2021 that I love to shout out on this channel as much as possible. It's a great game. Yeah, I could go on about this single-player adventure title's excellent gameplay and artistic direction for hours, but today we're here to discuss its soul-stirring soundtrack. This set of compositions manages to capture a wide range of emotions, from evoking the feeling of being on an epic journey to a rousing battle anthem. These orchestral pieces always seem to hit at just the right moments. Whether you find yourself on the game's vast world map or exploring a town, the music almost always matches the scene to striking effect. The soundtrack features around 60 tracks, wow, and good news, it can be purchased directly from composer Silly the Willy on Bandcamp. My standout tracks are the two different versions of Overworld Castella, a peaceful, emotional composition that shifts into a rocked-out version when entering combat. Regardless, Phoenotopia's soundtrack is incredible across the board, and makes for wonderful background noise as you toil away at your desk job. Also, it's just a great game, so you should grab the full release anyways. At number 9, this is the electrifying cyberpunk point-and-click adventure game with an epic electronic synth soundtrack. We're talking about VirtuaVerse. This game offers a dark and entertaining narrative within a visually striking world, but it's the music that truly helps it stand out from other cyberpunk releases. The soundtrack was crafted by Master Boot Record, an Italian band formed in 2016 and notable for their unique heavy metal chiptune sound. As a personal fan, I'm thrilled to be seeing them on their current tour. Actually, I can't wait. Their music in VirtuaVerse unsurprisingly combines hard-hitting synths with a rock edge that perfectly complements the dark and gritty atmosphere of the game. This is a soundtrack that not only fits the game world, but it elevates it. You can purchase the soundtrack on both Bandcamp and Steam. My personal favorite song is the title track, but honestly, they're all bangers if you're into the synthwave genre, and you should definitely check out Master Boot Record's catalog. They are outstanding. Moving along to number 8, it's time for something a bit more lighthearted. This is Fables the Everlasting Sapling. I know you don't usually think about the soundtrack with this game, but trust me, it's really delightful. This was a charming little RPG that was clearly inspired by the beloved Paper Mario series, and it features a delightful and whimsical set of compositions that will have you humming along in no time. Fables offers a musical journey that's both enchanting and playful. Most of the tracks in this game make use of instruments like pianos, flutes, whistles, and other fun elements that are sure to bring a smile to your face. The soundtrack boasts over 80 tracks, each adding to the game's often hilarious storyline. Among the highlights are the silly and smooth pieces built around bass lines, which provide a relaxing, mellow vibe. You'll also find a wonderfully upbeat and wacky battle theme that adds excitement and fun to every encounter. And let's not forget the delightful synth work that ties everything together, creating a cohesive and memorable auditory experience. Whether you're exploring the colorful towns of Fables or engaging in its entertaining battle system, the music plays a pivotal role in enhancing the enjoyment of your experience. The soundtrack can be purchased on Bandcamp and was mostly composed by Tristan Alric. Next on our list is the surprisingly large and meticulously crafted Metroidvania game, Cathedral. This outstanding release not only offers an immersive gameplay experience, but also features an exceptional soundtrack, with over 40 retro chiptune tracks to explore. Cathedral's soundtrack is a masterclass in blending nostalgic and contemporary sounds. The epic melodies are reminiscent of the NES era, delivering that classic 8-bit charm, while incorporating modern synthetic elements that come together beautifully. From the game's powerful opening theme to the diabolically insane gargoyle galore, the vast majority of compositions are aggressive in this title and hard-hitting. One of my personal standout tracks is the Beholder boss battle theme, but really, You can't go wrong with any of these songs, assuming you enjoy classic chiptune themes. This soundtrack isn't afraid to get a bit playful at times either, even conjuring memories of the King's Quest franchise. Do yourself a favor and check out this soundtrack for yourself, which was all created in FamiTracker. If you don't want to own the game for some reason and just want the soundtrack, it is available on Steam as a separate purchase.
What's up, Player One?
Alright, Everhood, one of my all-time favorites I've had the pleasure of reviewing here at I Dream of Indie Games. I can hardly wait for the sequel. The soundtrack to Everhood is truly a bop, featuring nearly 100 tracks composed by a diverse array of artists. The songs in Everhood range from trippy synth tunes to head-bopping dance tracks, and they manage to convey a wide range of emotions while flowing together in beautiful harmony. This is a soundtrack that doesn't just complement the strange world in which Everhood takes place, it elevates the entire experience. Battle and exploration feel strangely emotional and immersive. Your subwoofer will rattle with each hit of the kick drum. While synth lovers will get the most out of this one, I do feel like the soundtrack manages to offer a little bit of something for everyone to enjoy. You can grab the soundtrack on Bandcamp, and I recommend doing just that. At the halfway point, we are now at Lacuna, which has a soundtrack composed by Julian Kolbis. This is one of my all-time favorite soundtracks. This science fiction detective adventure title is a Golden Genie Lamp winner here at the channel, partly due to its exceptional music that hits at all the right moments. Many of the tracks in Lacuna are piano-based, featuring subtle drumming and an atmospheric upright bass that works together to give the game a tranquil, mysterious vibe that fits perfectly within its world. The piano work is particularly powerful, full of gorgeous melodies, especially shining through on the stunning composition Catherine. The soundtrack of Lacuna is masterful, powerful, and emotionally evocative. It truly elevates the entire experience. If you want to enjoy it outside of the game, it's now available for purchase on Steam. Prepare yourself for over 30 tracks of beauty and majesty, and if you haven't played this game yet, what are you doing? Get on it.
Ready, set, game on!
Alright, I'll preface this selection by saying that you definitely need to be in a certain mood for the sounds of Strangeland, but they are so abstract, haunting, and amazing that it's hard not to get lost in this soundtrack. Strangeland is an outstanding point-and-click adventure with stunning art direction and incredible music. Featuring over 40 haunting tracks, the musical compositions in Strangeland will send chills down your spine, yet they are bizarrely satisfying. Think Nine Inch Nails, with the composer relying on abstract sound, droning synths that evoke a sense of pain. And on top of that, there's just these weird, downright disturbing noises that I can't quite put my finger on. There's a distinctly 80s horror vibe to the soundtrack too, which just works for me. Composed by Victor Flug, songs such as The Haunting You will keep you up at night as the organ is carefully and playfully tickled. What an amazing game and a breathtaking soundtrack that is also available on Steam. But again, you gotta be in a mood. Top 3 now, let's go! This one comes from Berserk Studio and the Arcade Crew. It's 2022's Infernax, an outstanding 2D dark fantasy game that blends elements of Metroidvania with neat RPG mechanics and a brutal level of violence. Much like Cathedral, a previous entry on this list, Infernax features a masterful soundtrack that mixes classic chiptune stylings with modern synths. The soundtrack, composed by Jason Letroneau, consists of 40 amazing tracks that will grab you by the balls and firmly twist them, all while laughing in your face. It's retro goodness that sounds oh so sweet. The compositions range from the maniacal and frantic Ruins of Evil to the intense Battle of Darsov, delivering hellish-sounding tunes that elevate the game's dark and atmospheric world. Each track ramps up the intensity, making this a wonderful auditory experience for retro gamers. Don't take my word for it though, purchase the soundtrack on Steam and let it all sink in. Alright, I couldn't go through this entire list without featuring a shmup, right? So I'm going to shout out Andro Dunos 2 and its high-octane soundtrack. This is yet another collection of tunes that will have your subwoofer shaking, and it just has an awesome 80s vibe that hits you the moment you enter the first level of gameplay. While there are only 12 tracks, composer Alistair Brimble has truly brought the heat. The songs have a wondrous dancey vibe that will have you shaking and grooving. They fit perfectly within the context of a shoot-'em-up game, enhancing the overall experience with their relentless energy and infectious beats. The electronic synths used throughout the soundtrack are particularly noteworthy. They are unrelenting and perfectly capture the essence of the shmup genre. Alistair Brimble has been composing music since the days of the Amiga, and his talents are fully unleashed in this epic set of music. So if you're looking to get your adrenaline pumping, look no further than the Andro Dunos 2 OST. It is available for purchase on Bandcamp.
Here we go!
Alright, can your ears handle any more? Well, lucky for you, there's just one last selection. Rounding out our list is one of the greatest brawlers of all time, arguably the greatest depending who you ask, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. While you likely already know how fantastic this game is, it's not often that videos focus exclusively on the incredible soundtrack composed by T. Lopez with contributions from other talented artists, including Mega Ran and Mike Patton. The soundtrack is a perfect blend of late 80s and early 90s nostalgia, perfectly fitting the theme of the Ninja Turtles. It's also a really fun listen on its own, outside of the game. With nearly 30 tracks, you'll find awesome vocal performances, classic arcadey synths, and killer guitar licks that bring the music to life. You'll feel like you're a Ninja Turtle yourself, slapping around the Foot Clan after a few listens of this OST. And good news for fans, you can purchase the soundtrack on Bandcamp. They even released a vinyl version at some point, which is totally rad. Whether you're a diehard TMNT fan or you just love great music, this soundtrack is a must-have. Cowabunga! Turtle power indeed. And we hope you found this list radical and bodacious, indie warriors. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you discovered an awesome new VGM soundtrack to rock out to. Voice to the voiceless, and see you on the channel for all the latest indie game reviews and so much more.
Do you have the courage to tackle the gaming echo chamber and give a voice to the voiceless? Subscribe to the channel for all your indie gaming needs and hop on over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames for Discord access and exclusive perks. Join our amazing community and help iDream of Indie Games shine brighter than ever. Voice to the voiceless, and see you in the next video, indie warriors.